10 little known facts about martial arts. Legend Bruce Lee, also known as Li Jialong. 1. According to the in-depth biography by Matthew Polly, Bruce Lee, A Life, Bruce Lee's nickname in school was Gorilla. He earned this somewhat embarrassing nickname because, as recalled by his classmate Hawkins Cheung at St. Francis Xavier's school, he looked muscular and often moved with his wings spread out on both sides. Most students were afraid of Bruce Lee, but because Cheung was one of his closest friends, he called him a name that only he used, chicken legs, referring to Lee's muscular physique but with thin legs. Hawkins mentioned that Lee would get angry with him when called by this name and would chase him around the schoolyard. 2. Despite coming from a middle-class family, a young Bruce Lee had a passion for tea and particularly enjoyed street fights. When I was a kid in Hong Kong, I was a bully and always getting into fights, he told Black Belt magazine. We used chains and pens with small hidden knives. Then, one day, I started wondering what would happen if I didn't have my gang with me every time I fought. This revelation was a turning point that led the legendary Lee to contemplate learning martial arts. He said, I only started to learn Kung Fu when I felt insecure. 3. One of Bruce Lee's early girlfriends was an American-Japanese student named Amy Sanbo. Initially, she rejected his romantic advances, but Bruce Lee persisted. The real turning point came when she accidentally stepped on a nail in ballet class and had to move around with crutches. Seeing Sanbo struggling to climb a high step on a staircase, Bruce Lee lifted her and carried her upstairs. They developed a strong bond after that moment and had a relationship for the following 2 years. 4. The film Bruce Lee and I, released in 1976, intended to portray the story of Betty Ting Pei, the woman who was with Bruce Lee on the night he passed away. Interestingly, Ting played the lead role in the movie, including a scene where she shared a bed with Daniel Lee So-yin, who portrayed Bruce Lee. Betty Ting Pei had almost a chance to bring her tragic life to the big screen through the reality TV film Bruce Lee and I, but the director had a different idea. Director Lo Ma turned what happened in their bedroom that year into Ting's imagination, a critic wrote at the time. 5. Bruce Lee's martial arts career on the big screen didn't start as expected with The Green Hornet, an American TV show that helped him gain recognition in the West. It wasn't that Bruce Lee's acting was bad, it was just that he moved too fast for the camera's frame rate. After performing a scene, nobody could see the moves that Bruce Lee executed, leading to mocking laughter from fellow actors and the film crew. Upset, Bruce Lee went into the dressing room feeling terrible. He then made adjustments by performing in slow motion. 6. Bruce Lee had a genuine love for cars. While teaching martial arts in the United States, he bought a Chevrolet Nova, a car with a sticker on the rear window that read, "This car protected by the Green Hornet." A friend occasionally allowed Bruce Lee to drive his Shelby Cobra sports car, but what he really wanted was the sports car owned by his closest friend, Steve McQueen, a Porsche Targa. When Bruce Lee's mother sent him the money she earned from selling an apartment in Hong Kong, he went straight to the dealership to buy the Porsche. 7. Renowned film director Lo Wei, the director of The Big Boss, made an unforgivable mistake when he told a newspaper that he taught Bruce Lee how to perform action sequences on camera. To make matters worse, he even referred to himself as the Dragon's mentor. When Bruce Lee learned about this, he angrily ran to where Lo was filming and threatened him. Bruce Lee only calmed down when Lo's wife, Gladys, intervened. 8. Bruce Lee's younger brother, Robert Lee Jun-Fai, is a famous pop music composer in Hong Kong. He was the lead singer of Thunderbirds, a successful band in the mid-1960s that sang English-language songs. In 1974, he released a special composition dedicated to his older brother, titled The Ballad of Bruce Lee. 9. When Bruce Lee's first martial arts film, The Big Boss, was released in Hong Kong in 1971, it surpassed the box office record held by the musical film, The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews, released in 1965. The Big Boss became an unexpected box office sensation. 10. The 1976 biographical film, Bruce Lee, True Story, was one of the many poorly made films about the martial arts superstar after his death. It depicted completely different versions of how the Hollywood martial arts icon died. One of these endings showed the unusual idea that Bruce Lee didn't die and even planned to make a comeback in the 1980s.